Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about if I still like Coldplay. And I know this is kind of weird to talk about all of a sudden because it's been a while since I've talked about Coldplay, but I've recently started getting back into their old stuff and I still really enjoy it. It's very basic, don't get me wrong, especially in terms of lyrics, but I think Coldplay knows that, and unfortunately I feel like they've gotten even more basic with their recent music. So if you do want to go to their more like stripped down roots and whatever, and their more alt rock sort of sound, then just go visit like their first four albums. Those are very good albums even today, and I still really like them. And I still think Viva La Vida is probably one of the best hybrids of pop rock and like orchestral music in the mainstream in like the 2010s. Like, it has to be one of the best because it is a very, very good album. I don't care what anybody says. Even if you don't like Coldplay, you have to admit that that album is pretty good. Now, yes, sometimes it does take influence from like Radiohead, and I made a video a while back comparing them to Radiohead and if they're a rip-off of them. And I feel like, yeah, they took some pretty heavy inspiration from them, from their first few albums, and from a couple of songs in their like later albums. But again, like I said in my other video about this, they really just don't copy them directly. They're more of just an influence for them, and that's it. Like, they're not like copying their chord progressions, they just sometimes sound similar to Radiohead. So yeah, I don't really get what that comparison comes from even today, especially in terms of the newer music. Like, it doesn't sound at all like Radiohead. I mean, whether you like it or not, it's completely different. So yeah. But am I a big fan of the recent music that they've released? Honestly, no. I still didn't really like Music of the Spheres. It was still pretty bland. There was like two songs. I think it was the closer, Coloratura, and I think Higher Power. And those were like the only songs that I like actually enjoyed from that record. Coloratura was pretty good, but besides that, I think all the other songs were just kind of eh. And I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. I don't really like the new like sort of pop direction they're moving in. I feel like, again, Viva La Vida was a great combination of their more like rock inspired sound, like again like Radiohead stuff, and then more orchestral music with Brian Eno behind production, and that's why it sounds so good. And I think the lyrics are a lot better on that album compared to a lot of their previous efforts. So yeah, as I said, if you don't like Coldplay, at least give them a chance with Viva La Vida because that album is pretty good. Pretty fantastic, especially for a mainstream rock record. It was probably one of the biggest and probably one of the last big rock albums of recent memories. So yeah. But besides that, yeah, that is basically it. I still like Coldplay. I still like their older stuff a lot more than their newest stuff. But even then, again, I could still find a couple of songs that I do like from them. It's just that I kind of have to dig sometimes a little bit. Because, you know, as I said, I'm not the biggest fan of their more pop-oriented stuff. But I still don't think it's, like, bad. It doesn't sound bad, but it's just a little bland. But, yeah. Besides that, that is basically it. I'm sorry for how messy this desk is. It's just that I was planning on moving today, but I'll move out tomorrow. But yeah, besides that, that is basically going to be it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.